Welcome to Girl with a Heart of. A heart of what? I honestly have no idea. I guess a heart of gold, a heart of wickedness, a heart of. I guess we're gonna have to discover by playing the game. New game ahoy. Use A and D keys to move, okay. Alternatively, use left and right arrow keys. The green circle on the right represents your health. Okay, I guess we have health. I guess all we do is move left and right. Following the crowd. Oh, good, you're finally awake. What? I want to go back to. No. Okay, we're gonna. What? No. Okay. I want to explore, not just go over here. And why are you purple? You're like some. Yeah. Disturbing images of you having a long, big nose like Barney there. And go, hoo, 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 whatever. Oh, good. You are finally awake. How are you feeling? Lost. I'm just going to answer honestly to my own feelings here. I feel lost. Don't worry. You are safe here in my house. And from now on, this is your room. For as long as you'd like. I am Cynthia Cloudy, by the way. You just can call me Cynthia, though. You seem to be feeling much better, so you can get up if you want. Or you can stay in bed a little longer and we'll chat for a bit. I am sure you have so many questions, especially given what's happening in town. What's going on in town? I'm going to stay here, stand up. What's going on in town? Unfortunately, there was another attack. I don't know much about it, but I think it's more serious than all the previous ones. Please don't worry too much about it right now. There are more pressing concerns. I'm going to stay here? Yep, you'll be staying here for a while. I've talked it over with your mother. Who the fuck is my mother? And she agreed this is the best place for you. It's not too far away from the temple. But what? And you'll be safe here. You'll feel right at home. I'll make sure of that. If you need anything at all, just let me know, okay? Why can't I stay at my house? The whole first level has been evacuated. Even the houses in the city limits. No one is allowed up there now, unless you're there to reinforce the wall or help out in any other way. I'm not sure how long this will last, but for now you can just stay here. Don't worry, I'll be taking care of you, and we'll have fun. Why was the first level evacuated? I'm asking so many questions. It's just not safe there anymore. The wall could collapse at any moment. The light is continuously pouring through the cracks. It's very dangerous, but you shouldn't worry yourself with that. There are very good people up there defending us, and everything will turn out just fine, I'm sure. Oh boy. Are you ready to go now? No, I think I'll stay a bit longer. Okay, I'll wait. Stand up. Ready to go now? Yes. Okay, I'll step outside so you can get dressed. There went that conversation pretty quickly. Was this dressed in my opinion? Why are you standing over there? Okay, let me go get dressed. There's an option there. Talk to Cynthia, go to bed. Are you following me? You say you're going to give me room to get dressed and now you're following me? Okay, what was this? Go to bed. You just got up. You should talk to Cynthia. Alright, I'll follow your advice, game. Oh, you look so... Oh, fuck, how much do you have to say right there? Oh, you look so pretty in that dress, but I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Your mother is very sick. My sister, Dr. Lisa Cloudy, is looking after her in the temple right now. She told me this morning that your mother wants you to stop by as soon as you could. If you're ready, I'm sure it'd bring a great joy to see you right now. Now, why didn't you tell me my mother was dying beforehand? How did my mother get sick? Where's the temple? I want to talk about how my mother gets sick. Oh, I asked the temple question. It's just outside my house. If you want to walk through the marketplace, you can't miss it. Just be sure to use the side entrance. I guess I have a mouse here. How my mother gets sick. She was hurt. I'm going to put this up here. She was hurt very badly. Lisa said she had hit directly by a light bolt. She is very sick right now. I've spoken with her not too long ago, and she would really love to see you. Your presence means everything to her. Why are you purple still? Why are you... Are we people who hate light? Is that why the light in the other room looks so freaking weird? I don't get what's going on right now. Whatever. Is my mother going to be alright? She seemed fine this morning, though somewhat pale. You should go see her yourself. My sister, Dr. Lisa Cloudy, will be able to tell you more about your mother's condition. I want to talk about... Okay. You. Back. You. You want to talk about me? Alright. Walls and walls of text. I can end the conversation any time, but my completion itself won't let me do it. What do you do for a living? I like your house. Why do you have so much clothing? Whose portrait is down the wall? As for first? Whose portrait? Sure. Oh, that's my father. This was a gift from the university he graduated from. Why do you have so much clothing? It's mostly for my job. Different occasions require different outfits. When I started out, I needed to buy a new outfit almost every time I went out. But now I have enough so that I almost always can find the perfect outfit for every occasion, right in my own closet. It's very handy. Well, that's fine, except you're knowing the game, you're going to probably wear this the whole entire game, right? Someday I want to have as many clothes as you have. Ha, that's very sweet. I certainly hope your dreams come true. Give all your clothes to me. Okay, let's see, one or two. What do you do for a living? Well, I run this little store here. I sell various trinkets and supplies, mostly to lower levels, you know. I also tell fortunes, though that hasn't been very lucrative lately. Additionally, I perform and entertain at formal events, stories, children's birthdays, dancing, singing, entertaining, pretty much anything of the sort. How's your work doing? A little slower now than usual, but then who really wants to celebrate when there is an enemy right at the gate, you know? I am not too concerned about it right now. It will pass. What do you mean you sell to lower levels? Okay, well, how often do poor people throw parties, you know? Or were you asking? You do know how city levels are generally populated, right? No, don't know. So many walls of text. I could easily skip this. There's a end conversation button, but I'm completing because I need to know what's going on here. Oh well, it's rather straightforward. Poor people tend to live on higher levels, which are closer to the surface. Business centers are usually located in the middle levels, where the ground is too permeated with darkness for most crops. Rich people live on the lower levels, where it is much harder to grow anything, but the darkness concentration is optimal for your health. It also further down, offering more protection in case of an invasion. If you are really interested, I would recommend finding a good book at the library. Why isn't your fortune telling going well? Because of the recent attack, of course. It's fun to poke fun at lights when they are not right at your threshold, knocking down your door, you know? I am sure it will pass, though. People tend to have a short memory when it comes to things like this. I like your house. Why, thank you. I have so many things, and sometimes it's hard to keep them all organized. I hope you don't mind. Will you read my fortune? Ha! Do you really believe in fortune telling, or are you trying to ask for entertainment? I think it would be fun, or I really believe in fortune telling. I think it'll be fun. That's my honest answer. It's really not as entertaining as it would seem, especially if you don't believe in it. While fortune telling is fun to think about, it's certainly not a rational belief. I wouldn't want my prediction to coincidentally come true and spook you. That would be very unfortunate since you are already on the right path. Continue. You are a young, creative, and kind person. You don't need a fortune. All doors are open to you. You can create your own fortune wherever you go. If it comes down to determination, weaker people might need a blessing from below before they feel comfortable proceeding with their decisions. But you and I know that it's all up to us. We are in control of our own fate. Now back. Welcome back. I want to talk to you about. Okay, we're done. Finally done. We're done. I don't care about anything else you have to say. You can have your fun over there. We are done reading all your. Okay. Now she's still stalking me. What a freaking creep. Let's get out of here. Alright, the streets are alive with what's over here. No, I'm just wandering. I don't even know where. What by person? Go down to the 3rd city level. That's cool. Why is everyone here weirdly colored? I mean, I look kind of normal colored, but everyone else around me looks so strangely colored. Guess I'm going this way. Take a long route to the 4th city level. I don't even know where I'm trying to go right now. I'm guessing I'm going to different city levels. Talk to town guard. By the order of Count. By the order of Count, access to the 1st level is restricted to essential personnel only. Okay. You're telling that to a little girl, you know. Okay, well I guess there's a dead end this way, so I guess we're going back this way. I'll go to level 4, was it? Because we're in the 2nd city level, which means we're in the business district. Guess we'll go down here. This reminds you of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde Nest, except no one's attacking me, silly. Let's see, no one over there to go. I guess I'm walking this way. Nope, dead end. Alright, waka 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 waka. No run buttons, so no such luck. Let's see. I'm walking, trying to find something to interact with. Nothing there. Actually, was there something to interact with? I think there was, but I missed it at the last second. Always so weird with these things. Or am I just crazy? No, I was just saying go to the 3rd city level. That's okay. Thing that looks kind of tentacly. Enter the temple. That is where I need to go. I can't talk to you. Nope, doesn't like it. To the temple. To the temple. Alright. That's a lot of people in the temple who look kind of drunk or dead. Oh wait, no, they're injured. So of course, let's put all the injured people right next to the entrance, right? That sounds like a cool character plan there. Let's put all the freaking injured people to the entrance. You spin me right round, baby, right round, rolling girl. Yeah, we're all done with all that. In fact, if I wasn't crazy, it looks like most people are doing pretty well. Ha 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 ha. Deeper to the temple I go, I guess. You hear 2 people whispering behind the door. One of the voices is your mother's. Eavesdrop for just 1 second. Really sorry, Dina. In a better hospital, maybe, and I stress maybe they would be able to help you, but honestly, I have nothing left to try. I'm afraid the damage is just too excessive. I've tried. I really did, but let's eavesdrop a little bit more. How much longer? Understand that this is all very uncertain, but a week at most. A lot depends on your emotional state. This will require a lot of strength and determination from you. The woman starts sobbing. You can tell she has been holding it in for a while. There, Lisa. It's okay. I understand. It's going to be okay. You need to stay positive. You need to stay strong. You have other patients who need you. I know you've done everything you could. Look at you, Dina. I am the one who should be comforting you, and yet here you are telling me to stay positive. I am continually amazed by your optimism. Thanks. Just please don't tell Raven. I don't want her to know prematurely. She will have enough grief, and when she finds out about... And the voice breaks. You can't hear her whisper. Alright, oh boy, secrets everywhere. And little does she know her little Raven is eavesdropping right here. I won't tell her. I'll give you my word. Thank you, Lisa. Your friendship means so much to me, and I hate to ask you for more, but there's another big favor I need from you. Of course, anything. Well, I prefer for Raven to hear this from me. I'm afraid I'm just in no condition to tell her right now. I think you'll be able to explain it to her better than I could. Are you asking me to tell Raven about her heart? Well, if you're certain about this. Yes, I think she is old enough to know about it, especially now that I think you are right. Don't worry about it. I will tell her right away after she visits you. Meanwhile, you should rest and don't even think of getting up. You need to maintain what little strength you have. I'm sure Raven will come to see you really soon. I can't wait to see her, but Lisa, thank you. You've been a truly great friend over these past years. You hear someone lock the door. Oh, little one, you're already here. Good. This is Lisa here. I don't give a shit to give her voice. I guess I'll do it like this. Oh, little one, you are already here. Good. I was wondering when you would stop by. I am Dr. Lisa Cloudley, your mother's doctor. You should go see her right now. She is waiting for you through the door. But when you are done talking with her, please come find me. I have something very important I need to discuss with you. Oh, and please be very cautious around your mother. She is not feeling very well. There are probably some topics you would rather avoid discussing right now. Understand? Okay, go on. I need to attend to my other patients. We enter the room and see our mother. Is our mother gonna be like blue or something? Oh, our mother's normal color, like me. My sweet Raven, I am so glad you're here. Come closer to me, my little girl. I'm so sorry I wasn't at your bedside when you woke up. How are you? Tell me everything that's been happening with you. I am doing fine, but how are you? I was feeling very sick this morning. I can't believe you left me alone. I'd probably tell you I'm doing fine, but how are you doing well? Oh, I'm just fine. Don't worry about me. I'm sure I'll be me on my feet soon enough. In fact, I'm feeling much better now that you're here. Please stay and talk with me a bit. We haven't had much time to catch up since your arrival. Hey guys, guess what's coming up in this game now? More walls of text. I don't remember arriving last night. I am staying at Cynthia's house. What does Dr. Cloud have to talk to me about? Where are you going? Are you going to be alright? Are you going to die? How did you end up here? I'll start with a hug. Thank you, honey. That's exactly what I needed. I hope you're here to hug me every day. Ah, that's kind of cute. How did you end up here? Let's see, 6. I got hit by a light spell. Lisa says it was a direct hit. I remember everything was so bright, the light bulbs were flying everywhere. I was terrified. Honestly, I don't even remember being hit. I just remember the bright flash, then waking up here in the temple. Why were you close to the attack? I'm sorry. I just can't talk about it right now. Are you going to be alright? 4. My sweet Raven, of course I'm going to be alright. Look at you. You've bounced right back up. Your mom is not as young as she used to be, but I'll be fine. Don't you worry. Stop lying to me. Tell me the truth. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Dr. Cloudy said I'll be allowed to walk again tomorrow, so we could go for a little stroll, okay? Truth. I heard Dr. Cloudy say that she can't treat you. Lie. Dr. Cloudy told me your condition isn't treatable. Are you going to die? You can't walk? What does Dr. Cloudy have to talk to me? I'll tell the truth. Oh, you've overheard our conversation. Yes, Lisa says her options are limited right now, but understand that she is doing her very best, not just for me, but for her patients. She is talented, intelligent doctor, and I completely trust her with my heart and health and well-being. I just need some time to get better on my own, okay? Okay, okay. A lot more talking to do, apparently. Completionist Ryan is going to explode, probably. Are you going to die? No, of course not. I'm going to get better. Don't even think of such a thing. You'll see. I'll be feeling much better tomorrow. I'm your mother, and I will be always take care of you. I heard Raven, Dr. Clay has to be a pessimist, because all doctors are. She needs to prepare her patients for the worst possible outcome they may face. That doesn't mean I am going to die. Well, I am not doing too well right now. You shouldn't worry so much about me, honey. Let's see. You can't walk? I haven't tried. I just feel too weak and sleepy. Every step makes me dizzy. Also, Lisa sternly warned me not to do it. She said it would be detrimental towards my health, but don't worry. I am sure I will feel much better tomorrow. And then we can go for a little walk, okay? I don't remember okay, let's see. 1. That's okay, honey. I don't remember arriving last night. That's okay, honey. Lisa said it's a common occurrence after being exposed to a lot of light. My memory's a bit fuzzy as well. Let me just remind you. You came back from school yesterday, remember? Your father picked you up as usual. Last evening you arrived in town, and we were just about to have a late dinner when the alarm bells went off. Oh, this is just a bit too much for me. Let's talk about this tomorrow, okay? I'm guessing Daddy's not okay. That's my guess. Where's Dad? That's what I'm worried about. I can't talk about him right now. Please wait until tomorrow. Oh, this girl has lost, like, everything. Alright. It's very complicated. This is asking the question, what does the Dr. Cloudy want to talk to me about? It's very complicated, Raven. I wish I could explain. Please let Dr. Cloudy fill you in on the details. Lisa's a very close friend of mine, and she can do a better job of explaining everything than I can right now. After you talk to her, I will be more than happy to soothe any worries you might have. I am staying at Cynthia's house. Yes, she stopped over here early this morning, while you were still sound asleep. We've talked it over, and we think it's best if you stay over at her house for the time being. It's a comfortable house, and you'll be safe there. It's also very close to the temple, so you can visit me as much as you like. She is such a warm, loving person, isn't she? Yes, I think she is nice. I think she is overly emotional and immature. I think she is just like you, Mom. Yes, I think she is nice. It brings me great comfort to hear that. I am sure you two will get along. Why can't I stay at your house? The first level has been completely evacuated. From what I've heard, nobody's allowed there unless they are helping with the wall. and I was told many of the buildings were destroyed before the gate was sealed. I don't even know if our house is still standing. We might never be able to go back. I want to talk about you. Me? Okay, I suppose. What do you do? I make custom jewelry, sweetie. I always have. Yet it seems every time you ask me this question, you expect a different answer. Okay, we're done here. Bye, Mother. Yes, hope you don't die, but you probably will. Looks like all these guys are just trying to relax right now in the hospital. See you all later since we're leaving. Bye, Mother. Now, where are we going now? Doctor, doctor, where are you? I need to talk to you about things. There you are. You've spoken with Dana. Good. Your mother thinks you are mature enough to know about this, and given the circumstances, I can't help but agree. I suppose now is as good a time as any to tell you about it. Where should I start? Okay, continue. You know my sister, Cynthia, right? You are always staying at her house. Well, about a month before you were born, she approached me and said that I will have to deliver Dana's child, and that child will be born without a heart. As you probably realize, you were that child. This is an unexpected revelation to go on. How is that even possible? I'm asking, how is that possible? Good question. In fact, that's the same one I had. So I asked Cynthia how she knew about this and how it was even possible, but she refused to answer. I argued with her over it, but she wouldn't budge. It was after I told your mother about this and after she spoke with your dad that I learned that it was John Blackbeard who was behind this deed. But I'll tell you more about him later. Okay, go on. A couple of days before you were born, Cynthia came to me with a device which, curiously enough, resembled a heart. It looked very strange, as if a red silk fabric was stretched over a metal ribcage carcass. The insides were somewhat soft and squishy. Along with the heart, she gave me a scroll that contained a spell. She told me I had to recite the spell after you were born, and then insert the heart into your newborn body. I had to do it perfectly, or you wouldn't survive. Since I am alive, I assume you succeeded? Indeed. I have stayed up day and night, memorizing every tiny detail of that spell. This was by far the hardest spell I've ever had to perform, because apparently we cure things with magic. It was more challenging than the final exams at my university, even more difficult than most of the spells I've ever seen in my life, many of which were cast only by the most capable of wizards. After I recited the spell, I was able to insert the heart into your little body. It just merged with it, melting right through your flesh, and I felt it beginning to beat just like a normal heart. It was as though I had rejuvenated a lifeless body. That was the most beautiful moment of my life. I will never forget it. Dr. Cloudy pauses for a minute, lost in her memories. Cynthia asked me not to tell your mother about this, but of course I couldn't keep this information from her. It goes against all of my principles as a doctor to withhold information about a newborn from her mother. I told Dana everything, and she in turn discussed it with your father. What did they talk about? Turns out your father knew about this all along. In fact, John did this because Doolin agreed to it. They had been working on the plan ever since your conception. I don't know how your mother forgave him for not telling her about this. He claimed there was too much risk, and that she wouldn't agree, which she wouldn't, of course, but he still should have told her. I am sure my father had his reasons. Oh, I am sure as well. It's just now they might be more difficult to understand. So that's about it. I have monitored your health very closely, and you are healthy as any child. I still don't know how the heart functions or what its purpose is, aside from being a replacement organ. I'm sure you have many questions, so ask away. I'll answer what I can. You can also ask your mother, but she has the same information I do, except where it concerns your father, of course, though I wouldn't recommend talking to her about him today. To be honest, if you want real answers, you should go talk to Cynthia. She knows more about all of this than any of us. Why does Cynthia know more about this than anyone else? Well, yeah, that's a good question. Why didn't my mom tell me about this? She is very sick right now. There are some topics that take more energy and concentration than she can give at this moment. That's why she asked me to talk to you about this. Can I speak to my mom about this? Yes, you can, but please consider her health and try to limit how much you talk about difficult topics. Don't weaken her further. Why wasn't I told about this earlier? Why did you decide to tell my mother about this? Okay. Why was Cynthia so secretive about this? Uh, I asked that one. John asked her not to tell me or anyone else anything about this matter, but just to pass along the request anonymously. She was his student for 5 long years, and while my sister can be very loyal to the people she admires, she doesn't always understand how that affects everyone else. Okay, where can I find John? I would not recommend talking to John, though I have a nagging feeling you will end up speaking with him sooner or later. That wizard is trouble, and he will get you into trouble as well. I am also pretty certain your mother wouldn't approve. If you have any questions about your heart, you should speak with Cynthia. Where can I find my dad? I can't tell you that. How about you wait until tomorrow and ask your mom? I think she might be in a better condition then, so she can tell you he died, didn't he? Why didn't you decide to tell my mother about the heart? Why did you decide to tell my mother about the heart? If I had a daughter, I would want to know everything about her. To keep a secret from a mother about her own child seems rather cruel, and it's everything I stand against as a doctor and as a person. I've argued with Cynthia many times over this. Why wasn't I told about this earlier? It's a delicate and complicated topic that's best kept hidden from a child. However, your mother feels you are now old enough to know about it. This knowledge will burden you a little one, I am not even sure, but all knowledge tends to be responsibility along with it to bring. Well, I need to get back to my other patients, but if you want to talk more, I'll be right here. Don't hesitate to ask me anything and to speak to Cynthia. She'll have more information about your heart. There we go. I guess she's done. Now she's walking away to help other patients. Okay, is my mother going to be alright? Is my mother going to die? Can my mother stay in Cynthia's house too? How are the other patients? I guess is my mother going to be alright? Your mother is very ill. Do you know how sometimes when you get sick you might have a headache, nausea, and other unpleasant symptoms? Your mother is experiencing something very similar. She needs plenty of rest and a lot of support from all of us. I hope you're talking. Young lady, it's true. There's not much else. I'm just telling you the truth. I overheard her. There's not much else I can do to help her, but it's possible she can recover on her own. Please don't remind her of this. You only make her more upset, which will definitely worsen her condition. I understand that you're concerned about her as well, but please just have some patience and hope. Alright, I might have just killed my mother. Yay! Alright, I want to talk about my dad. I would rather avoid talking about him at this moment. Just wait until tomorrow, okay? Cynthia Cloudley. Okay, let's talk about my sister. What did you think about John's teacher in magic? I was still in the university when I heard about it. Back then, I was happy for her, happy that she found a passion to pursue while she was taking care of our father. I didn't know John back then. When I came back to underfoot after med school and finally met John, I wasn't very fond of him. But she had been studying magic for several years at that point, and anything I said wouldn't have made a difference. Plus, she seemed so very happy, so I was happy for her. Other things? Tell me about the temple. Tell me about the library. Tell me about, hospital rooms. Those two rooms are the only parts of the building that are technically considered the hospital, but as you can see right now, they are overwhelmed with patients, so those rooms are simply not enough. Tell me about the library. I'm not sure what to tell you, except that if you want a book, that's the place you should check first. Normally, there's a clerk who will help you find the books you want, but right now, he is away helping to reinforce the wall. I suppose you can just help yourself. Tell me about the temple. A temple is just a public place for gathering together. Usually people host weddings here, but sometimes there are lectures, presentations, shows, performances, or just parties for large groups of people. Tell me about the dragon mural. The dragon represents the darkness flowing through a tunnel. The tunnel is formed by the darkness streaming up to the surface. In places where the ground conditions are right, there are long horizontal stretches of the tunnel where it's perfect to build a city. I'm sure there's a book on this, if you want to know more. Essentially, his mural represents a victorious moment when the dark people triumph over lights. You can see the dragon destroying Astropolis, Light's city, capital city. I'm not a fan of violence or wars, but I like this particular mural. It gives me hope, especially in tough times like these, because we are all giant bats that live in darkness. Tell me about the statue. This is an artist's representation of darkness. There are statues in other temples that portray darkness as a man or a creature. Sometimes, when I feel really worn out, I like to pretend that she is smiling at me, and that smile gives me strength to go on. It's kind of silly. Tell me about the two sun murals. There are two suns that create light, the mother sun and the father sun. There are some people who have different names for them. The mother sun is the bigger one. Whenever both suns are below the horizon, it's dark, and on the surface of the flow of darkness is at its strongest. As you know, there are 2 days, a short one and a long one. These suns are showing the point during the long day, when both suns are under the horizon and the surface is most void of light and safest for us. You can see how that's a very significant time. I know you don't want to talk to my dad. How's your work going? What do you do? What is this place? Do you know magic? I guess that's my question. Of course, every doctor needs to know a bit of magic. I know dark magic as well as life magic. Both are necessary for healing and treating patients. Can you teach me magic? Magic is a dangerous and powerful tool, one you have no need for just yet. Okay, I think I'm done with this conversation. I know she has more to say, but there's only so much dialogue I can take. Mom, just let's finish this. I hope I don't have to talk to anyone for a while. Jesus, there's a lot of text in this game. It's not even a visual novel. At least I don't think it is. I want to talk about... I guess Mom has nothing else to say. Bye, Mom. Which means I guess we're out of here. And now we finally have music again. And yeah, as I said, if we're talking about game genres that we like, I like a little bit of everything too, but I will have to say there are some genres which I like far more than others. In the end, it depends on the game-by-game basis, but there's definitely genres that I'm more likely to like than other things. Is it weird that this whole sequence of her spinning like this is making me think of that one Vocaloid song, Rolling Girl? I don't know why it's making me think of it exactly. Anyways, though, this way we go. It's not just that she's turning in place, it's kind of like the animation for it looks similar to me. I'm entering the temple again, let's see what else there is. That woman, okay, for starters, that guy is almost like a stiff board man. The one before him has such a huge ass. That guy, I don't even know what to say about him. Onward. Now let's see. We're at the second city level now, apparently. Cynthia! I'm so freaking lost. I'm so very lost. Something about you. Where the fuck am I supposed to be going? I don't even know. I don't even know. So that's the fourth route. Cynthia, your house is supposed to be close to the temple, isn't it? That's true. Where are you? Here you go, Cynthia's house, right there. Welcome back to your new home, little one. You look very tired. Just know that you can go to bed at any time. I want to talk about my heart. So your mother finally decided to tell you? It's about time. How much do you already know? Told me everything. Good. I suppose the hardest part is out of the way then. So you want to learn more about it? That's fine. Let me tell you what I know. This happened about 20 years ago. You'll see why it's important in a second. When I was unable to go to university like my older sister Lisa, I felt pretty upset. I had to sit home most of the day, feeling useless and bored. I had very little company except for my sick father. It just so happened that John Blackbeard was looking for a wizard apprentice at the time. As a child, I was always memorized by the magic, tricks, and games. I thought learning from him would be a worthwhile alternative to a university education. It turned out it wasn't, but I still learned a lot from John's apprenticeship. Go on. He mentioned to me in the basics of dark magic, alchemy, history, and literature. We traveled together and visited other cities during the time when my father felt better. During other times, he taught me to use magic and combat, and we even sparred together. In many ways, he was, and still is, my inspiration. I've been studying under John for over 5 years. Let me ask you something. Do you have a teacher that you like very much? No. I'm sure you will meet one soon. A good teacher is one of the most valuable resources in life. Even after John stopped training me, he remained a very close friend. Several years after my graduation, he approached me with a request, which he said was more important to him than anything he has asked of me before. Before he even explained it, I said I would do it. He told me about a baby that will be delivered. He told me about the heart. He said I had to make sure Lisa will deliver that baby, and I had to make sure that she would recite the spell and place the heart. He also told me to keep as much information secret as I could. I can see why you did this for him. Did you ask why he needed this to be done? Dr. Claudia said she argued with you over this secrecy. Yes, it has put quite a strain on our relationship, and for nothing, too. Lisa eventually told your mom about the operation, even though I begged her not to tell anyone. Your mom told your dad, who turns out knew about it from the start. This is pretty much all I know. And as you can see, most of the secrets are still with John and your dad. You should definitely try talking to one of them. Where can I find my dad? I honestly don't know. Your mother should be able to tell you. Where can I find John? You will probably find him at his house on the second level. I want to talk about you. Do you want to talk about me? Alright. So you know magic. Yes, I do, although I haven't had much chance to perform anything useful with it. Mostly I just use it for entertainment purposes. It's a little sad when I think about it, but at least I make people happy, right? That counts for a lot in my book. Can you teach me magic? Ha, probably, but I am not a very good teacher. I'm still a student myself. I'm still learning and practicing the basics. If you were really interested in learning magic, you should talk to John, though I doubt he would agree to take you on. He hasn't looked for another student since my graduation. What? Why do you call it graduation? Well, it's not a real graduation, you know. I don't even have a diploma to show for it. It's just at some point John decided he taught me enough, so he stopped our lessons. I've asked him to continue, but he refused. Cynthia let out a long sigh. What can I do, you know? My mother. Of course, let's talk about your mom. I'm worried about my mother. I understand. I am also worried about her, but she is in very good hands. Lisa is a great doctor, and I'm sure she is doing her absolute best. Back. Okay, we're done talking. Now that means it's time to go to sleep so I can fucking find out what happened to my dad. Yeah, you should talk to John about your heart. Oh. So now I gotta go talk to John, I guess. Okay. It's not one thing, it's a bajillion others, you know. That's how things here work. Go to the second sea level. So apparently John lives on this sea level, so... And that woman is definitely unemployed. Oh, there's John's house. I couldn't enter it till now, but whatever. Ah, here you are. I'm glad to see no harm has come to you. Well, that would be most unfortunate. Why question marks? It's probably John. Are you John Blackbeard? Probably because he has a black beard. Indeed, that is my name, but you may call me John. And since you are looking for me by name, I can only conclude that you have learned the truth about your heart. Well, do not be concerned, child. I will hide nothing from you. The task before us is the most important, so we have no time to waste. Are you ready to hear what I have to say? How can I trust you? A very good question. One you should ask for of anyone. However, would I be a liar? Honestly, would a liar answer honestly? Can anything useful be extracted from any given answer? I only ask that you hear me out before jumping to any conclusions. I have replaced your heart with one of my own design, one that possesses an unmatched ability to use dark energy. Furthermore, there are secondary functions inherent to the heart that I will explain later. That doesn't seem like a good enough reason. Why did you replace my heart? Here is the most important fact that you need to understand. This town will be destroyed in a matter of days. Actually, let me rephrase that a little more accurately. The front wall will be destroyed in a matter of days. The town itself will survive for a little longer, but its end is assured nonetheless, and you are the only chance this town has to survive this assault. What makes you so sure the wall will be breached? I maintain a number of sources from my years of military experience. All facts and evidence points to a wall collapsing in less than a week. I am sure your mind is filled with 1,000 questions. I will gladly answer them as honestly as I can, and after you are satisfied, I will give a little test for you. Why me? Anyone in your position would likely ask themselves the same question. The answer consists of two parts. One deals with your father, and I won't go into that right now. To understand the other part, it's better to ask, why anyone? Why anyone? Light assaults on the Dark's kingdom was inevitable, and it was well understood by everyone that it was only a matter of time before it happened. However, nobody has anticipated Light's recent technological advancements, which allows them to destroy town walls much faster than before. And who could have predicted that an alliance would have sprung between several Chaos villages and Light? This pact has allowed Light to attack Underfoot and other southwestern towns. Sometimes even our best predictions can fail to account for all possible surprises. Ever since the threat of Light's invasion started to loom, about 12 years ago, the King started to prepare as best as he could. But even with that kind of foreknowledge, it was obvious to everyone that many towns outside of the portal networks would be destroyed. I decided I would try to prevent that from happening, which is why you are here. Why should I do what you want me to do? How much time do we have? If that information I received is correct, we have about a week, 6 days at the very best. Before that time, you must be ready to save this town. Why should I do that, what you want me to do? What exactly do you expect me to do? What exactly do you expect me to do? The plan is rather simple. You will become my apprentice, and I will teach you dark magic. You will, in turn, use it to protect Underfoot and other villages. The details, of course, are most complicated, but we'll cross those bridges when we get to them. You expect me to protect entire towns? No, child, I expect far more from you. That might seem unreasonable, but you don't realize yet the true measure of your future power. Why should I... Okay, what kind of test? A simple game of hide and seek. A game whose true purpose is buried beneath a thin layer of joviality. This game will reveal to me your personality, your strengths, and most importantly, your weaknesses. Are you ready? Wait, we're going to play hide and seek? Are you really that surprised? Children's games have a long history of preparing them for the hardships of survival. Your own father was a surface runner. One of the most important skills for that job is to know where and how to hide. Oftentimes I'll use the use of magic, and while I am not training you to be a surface runner, I think it's a very valuable skill to have nonetheless. No, not yet. Why should I tell you what I want to do? The fate of this town, and many others like it, is in your hands, little girl. Without you, Light will overrun them. Without me, you will be powerless to stop it. It is only by working together that we can possibly end this war. The choice, if it exists, is yours. I want to talk about myself. Of course, I had a nightmare where people were running from Light. I don't think that was a nightmare. Your house was on the first level. It's quite likely you were near the gate, given everything that happened. I am going to be your apprentice like Cynthia? Not exactly. I taught Cynthia for many years. We only have a few days. Plus, she wasn't special, like you. The circumstances here are totally different. Magic. Of course, tell me more about dark magic. Okay. While I understand you went to a very good school, I won't assume what they did or didn't teach you there. So bear with me if some of my lessons tread on familiar grounds. Magic is all about energy. There are many types of magic, and there are many types of energy. Different types of magic use different types of energy. Light energy comes from two suns. Dark energy comes from the planet's core. To use magic is to extract the necessary energy from your environment and convert it into something useful to you. A process known commonly as casting a spell. Underground and in tunnels, dark energy is all around. All you have to do is gather it inside you and then release it. If you can store more energy, you can cast more powerful spells. If you can absorb the light energy faster, you can cast spells more often. Simple, right? Magic sounds fascinating. Tell me more. How many types of magic are there? There are 8 types of magic. Darkness, light, chaos, order, mind, body, life, and death. As you can see, they split nicely into 4 complementary pairs. Each pair is orthological to others. You can think of this as 4-dimensional space of magic. Anyway, not every pair is as incomparable as darkness and light, and not every magic has its own separate energy. The details are rather complicated and not as clear-cut as they may appear, but I don't think you need to know them. Magic sounds fascinating. Tell me more. Why didn't you teach me magic earlier? To be honest, I thought we would have more time. As I said, nobody predicted the attacks would come this far. When I learned that the city would be attacked, you were still in school. I asked your father to bring you home as quickly as possible, and he did, just in time too. Magic sounds fascinating. Tell me more. Each magic fosters a different culture and emphasizes different skills, talents, and attributes. Take dark magic, for example. I think even you would agree that as a culture we value hiding more than revealing, avoiding the enemy rather than directly engaging them. Light, on the other hand, values the opposite, and contrary to what you might believe, or what you might have been told, our side isn't always the right one. What you have to realize is that neither side is without its flaws. It's hiding and avoiding the enemy that got us into this war in the first place. Tell me about light. As I've said, light energy comes from the two suns. They move across the sky at different speeds. On the surface, unless both suns are hidden, it's very easy to access light energy. That's why all light cities are built on the surface. Their buildings are tall and slim. They have large windows and many glossy and transparent surfaces. In a way, it's very beautiful. Their government is structured very much like ours, but they are currently ruled by Empress Illyria. Light society is structured around the spreading and sharing of ideas, ideals, and values. In fact, I would almost call them zealous in their pursuit of homogeneity. If you don't share someone's opinion, they will try to persuade you every chance they get. They value conformity. I think this war is a perfect tragic example of their inability to accept differences. There is one key thing I want you to understand, Raven. Lights aren't evil. There are many very different people amongst them, and even some of that oppose the war. Don't let yourself be blinded by feelings of revenge, honor, or duty. This war is very messy and requires careful analysis in order to assign blame. Remember that we are fighting to defend and save ourselves, not to eliminate our enemy. Back? My dad. I'm sorry, child. I promised your mother I wouldn't speak about him until she spoke with you, and while I think it's unreasonable, I did give her my word. My mother. Sure. Why did you keep my heart a secret from my mother? For the same reason I kept it a secret from everyone else. I am sure you can see how some people might find what I did objectionable. I do not need any unnecessary opposition. How would you replace my heart without her consent? While it's true that I didn't have her consent, I did have the next best thing, the consent of your father. If Lisa or your mother haven't mentioned this to you already, Doolin knew about the plan from the very beginning. In fact, he was the one who volunteered you for this, so to speak. It was also his decision to keep it from Dina. I'm worried about my mother. There are two kinds of people, young lady. Some people would rather hear the truth no matter how much it hurts, or how much trouble it causes. Others would prefer things to be nice and happy. They will tell a lie, often with good intentions, to please or soothe other people. Which are you? I prefer the truth no matter what. Your mother is going to die. There are no two ways about this. I have seen this kind of damage the light did to her. Nobody survives that. It's only a matter of time. I would say a week, probably less. In your shoes, I would spend as much time with her as possible. I know what it feels like to watch someone die, and I'm truly sorry that you must witness her passing at such a tender age. How did my mother react when she found out what you did with my heart? Well, right after she found out I was involved, she learned that Delawin was behind it as well. They had a long discussion, and from what I could tell, your father convinced her that it was for the best. She still didn't like me after that, but there wasn't much I could do about it. Okay, Cynthia. What about her? Why did you keep the details about my heart a secret from Cynthia? Telling her would have served no purpose. I knew she would do what I asked her. Giving her the details of the plan would only burden her and increase the risk of failure. Why'd you pick Cynthia to be your apprentice? She was the only candidate that I thought was suitable. She was smart, ambitious, and, well, fun to be around. Why did you want an apprentice? I wanted someone to share my knowledge with. Someone who I could call my heir, so to speak. Why did you stop teaching Cynthia? Though there comes a point for all teachers where they feel they have given as much as they can give. Cynthia and I reached that point. After that, she could study, explore, and improve on her own. There was nothing I could help her with anymore. Back? Other things? Yes, insight. You learned that the city will come under attack? Okay. I was wondering if you would have noticed that little detail. Yes, I knew in advance that the city would be attacked, but you must keep this a secret. Nothing good can come from telling this to anyone, do you understand? I can live with it with being despised, but we cannot afford to have our work here interrupted. I promise not to tell anyone. Thank you. Your decision will benefit both of us, and since you are now aware of the circumstance, I see no harm in telling you more. There is also an interesting lesson here, and I wonder how well you can grasp it. Imagine yourself as the queen of the Dark Kingdom. Your adversaries inform you that a small and remote village outside of the portal network will be attacked by the 3 week's end. What would you do? I would send reinforcements. I would evacuate the village. I would send reinforcements. And risk losing all the reinforcements, understand that there are numerous light patrols scouring the surface at all times, ready to discover and ambush any force you might send. Have you considered that the surrounding area is under constant surveillance by lights, that scouts are positioned upon every vantage point, that even in the dead of night you would be incapable of smuggling out even a tiny fraction of the town's population unnoticed? And have you considered that were you to attempt such foolishness, the scouts will trace your movement to the surface portals and seal them off, thus tightening their stranglehold on the city? The only viable strategy here is to secure the full length of the passage from the town's exit to another city's portal, and to filter the population through that gauntlet. Securing an area that large is no small task. You understand? So let's say, after doing some probability calculations, you are versed in probability theory, right? You estimate the following. You could leave the village defenseless, losing 3,000 people, or you could risk a full rescue operation. In that case, you have a 0.4 probability of success, where you deliver the 3,000 people from harm, and a 0.6 probability of failure. Failure means you lose both villages, a total of 6,000 people. What would you do? I would try and save those people no matter what cost. If I do the math right, I would save the town. If I do the math right, I should not save the town. I would leave them to defend themselves. How can you even prosecute something like this? There is always another option. 6. There are many other options, but all of them are of strictly worse outcomes. You could spend an entire lifetime trying to think of some clever little strategy, but I can tell you from experience that such strategies tend to fail in the worst possible ways. How can you even okay. I would leave them to defend themselves. If I do the math right, I would try and save those people no matter what. Really? You would sacrifice 10 people to save 8, 1,000 to save 900? This doesn't seem very wise when you think about it. You can use simple math to make this decision. You must calculate, okay? How did you come up with this? Let's see, how did you come up with? To calculate the expected value, take each probability and multiply it by the corresponding outcoming value. After that, add up all the results. You have 0.4 probability to lose nobody, so that's 0.4 times 0, which is still 0. You have 0.6 probability to lose 6,000 people, so that's 0.6 times 6,000, which is 3,600. And then you add up all the values. 3,600 plus 0 is still 3,600. So the number of people you can expect to lose on average is 3,600. But there's always some uncertainty. Of course there's some uncertainty, but it goes both ways. You can try to consider all the facts, but in the end, all you're left with are 2 numbers to compare. I understand now. I'm sure you do. The difficult part isn't the calculation, it's making the decision. The king made a decision, and though it condemns us to death, I applaud him for it. The task before us, then, is not to bemoan his decision, but to defend ourselves. The king should have warned the people so they can at least defend themselves. And what do you think the people would do if they were told? I can tell you, they would panic and they would run. Not all of them, but enough of light scouts to attract those people to the surface portals and either destroy those portals or worse, set up an ambush around them. In the end, you wouldn't save anyone, but you would suffer for it, as if you had tried and failed. That's why nobody was told about the attack, not even the Count. The only reason I know is because I have a few high-ranking contacts in the military. Well, that was quite a lesson, wasn't it? Go and reflect upon what you have learned. Okay, situations like this arise frequently, especially during times of war. And remember, What we have discussed here is to remain between us, and we cannot afford to jeopardize our work. Even more insightful. That was a very long optional thing of dialogue. Okay, other things. We still have other things to talk. Do you know the Dark King? No, not personally. I left the Shadow Army just as I was getting high enough in the rank where that could happen. If everyone knew about the war, why didn't they prepare? They did prepare. Towns perceived to be under threat were evacuated. The ranks of our army have doubled in the past 10 years. There is more focus on military spell research than ever before. I think a better question is, why did this war have to happen in the first place? Okay, why did Chaos Villages open their borders? Ah, that is a very good question. I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that, and from what I gather, neither does the Dark King. Either way, this problem is outside of our scope for now. What is the portal network you mentioned? Of course they wouldn't teach something as basic as that in school. Do you know the portals you use to go to and up and down the city levels? Most of the cities and towns surrounding Cryptos have similar portals that allow you to travel to other cities. I don't know what I said. Because the portals have to be connected physically. You can connect them on the surface, but such connections would be vulnerable to enemy sabotage. So instead, they are connected underground, which means the cities have to belong to the same tunnel network. Cryptos is the center of the largest tunnel network we know, and, as I've said, most cities are part of their network. I wonder how long it took this guy to write this whole entire script. I have mostly been reading this whole entire game, and the funny thing is, I could skip all of this. I could skip most of all of this. But I'm reading it. I've almost spent a whole hour mostly just reading. Oh boy. Blackbeard's saying a lot of stuff here. I was gonna say though, I'm just thinking there's so much dialogue here. It's like I can't believe I'm tired. I'm kind of brain dead reading this all, but I'm taking it in at least. I'm at the point where I'm still taking it in, so. I'm bad at animations, but creative text thing. Don't get me wrong, the text is actually pretty well written. So, I mean, nothing you complain about with the text itself. It seems well written enough. And something which I have to compliment them on as well. They actually write the dialogue in such a way it's interesting and also thought-provoking, but it's not overly complicated. I find that oftentimes whenever games are so text-based or something like that, they try very hard to use big words or words to make it sound all fancy and all that. And sometimes it feels superficial. Like there, of course, is a good application of these bigger words, but then that sometimes can actually detract when it just feels like they're pointing big words to make themselves sound all professional or well written or whatever. However, though, I don't think well written means, oh my god, I use big words. I think that being well written means that like it flows nicely. It gets the point straight off to the people who are reading. It's interesting. It sort of sucks them in to a point where they are intrigued, as well as the fact that you have characters, they're well defined. Things don't always have to be easy to understand, because that's not always true, but they are engaging enough for the audience to be able to read them. And I guess this game has to have some engaging stuff at least, because I've been reading it for the last hour, so. But anyways, though. Why did this war have to happen in the first place? Why would anyone build a city outside of a portal network? Why does war have to happen in the first place? I think you already explained it, but I'll hear you again. Good question. I am not sure. I have a good answer for it, though. There's the hatred, intolerance, and years of conflict. There is new territory and land, and then there is simply profit. There are a multitude of interconnected reasons. Back. Other thing. No, not my dad. Yes. Okay, back. Other things. I guess other things. Why would anyone build? Okay, I think I'm about done talking to you. Let's go back. I'm ready for the test. Very well. Let me remind you of the rules. I will stand here. I will close my eyes and ears, and then I'll count. There's one thing which, before I read this, there's one thing I want to say about the game, though. They maybe should have put on loopable music, because the music plays once, then it stops, and everything is so quiet for a while, especially in these long conversations. Very well. Let me remind you of the rules. I will stand here. I will close my eyes and ears, and I will count down from 60. During this time, you must hide anywhere within the house. Afterward, I will try to find you. If I fail, you win, and the lesson will be completed. If I succeed, we will try again. Are you ready? Okay, here's some actual gameplay. Let's play. 60, okay? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Can I go into this door back here? You never want to hide in the room that the person starts off in. I can't enter the mysterious door. Hide under the table. That's like the most obvious place. Come on, there's only a limited number of hiding spots. And I can't even go inside the door. I guess... Okay, I guess this is the only place. Hide in the chest. Ready or not, here I come. He's gonna check the chest first or something. A chest? At least it isn't the wardrobe, but I know you can do better. Continue. Well, it's because there's nowhere to hide here. Well, yes, try again. Oh, I can actually enter the door now. It was broken earlier, and I was trying to think. Enter the mysterious door. Oh, I'm losing health. I just realized I'm losing health in here. Fuck, I'm about to die. I don't think I've actually saved my game. Okay, let me back in. Oh, God. I almost died from this. Not too bad, child. You found the key and entered into the unknown. You have a heart of a courage, even if it's a little lacking right now. Do not fret, though. We have several days of training ahead of us. Your effort, however, is to be commended, so let me give you your first essence. You have acquired Essence of Courage. I know you are curious to know what it's for, but what does it mean? But I will leave you that to your imagination. For the time... Okay. That door was killing me. I almost died in there. And yet you're just telling me all about... Okay. But I will leave it to your imagination. As for the time being, I can see you are still very tired. You should go rest and return tomorrow. We have a lot ahead of us, but if you have any questions, it's better to ask them now. 1. Tell me about the room full of darkness. Do not let appearance fool you. It's just a normal portal that has been disconnected, and opening without a terminal. Okay. Why do you have a portal in your house? I use it to discreetly enter and leave the villa city while it was being connected to the surface. For now, I have severed the connection. This way, the room makes an ideal location for our training, as you'll find out tomorrow. Where do you get this essence? This one I actually extracted for myself some time ago. The fact that it came from me won't affect anything important, since this is very basic essence. I want to talk about my heart. I am worried about my heart. I just skipped stuff. There is nothing to worry about, I assure you. It's not going to fail you now. In fact, it's going to make you much, much stronger. How reliable do you think my heart is? Based on the fact that it's still beating, I think you can expect it to last as long and function as well as a normal heart. I really don't foresee any complications regarding it. How'd you make my heart? The key concept actually originates from Lightstone technology, but I've adapted it for the dark energy in the person's body. To actually make the heart, I had to collaborate with Lord Blacksmith Oak. He was a good man and a master of his craft. With the help of my diagrams, he forged the heart flawlessly. It is quite a masterpiece, and I wish I could show it to you, except it's in my chest, so pfft. You wouldn't put this heart into yourself? No, and believe me, I tried. Furthermore, I couldn't put it into any other adult or child based on several constraints in the heart's design. There are 2 reasons for that. I'm interested in hearing them. First, the body should need a heart. All people already have one, and it's rather difficult to remove it without killing them outright. A child's heart, on the other hand, can be removed so long as she remains connected to her mother. But when she is born, she will die within seconds unless a new heart is provided. Second, the body should be overflowing with life energy, and while any druid can fulfill that condition, a newborn baby is also overflowing with life energy at the moment of birth. As you can see, the limitations left me with no other choice but to pick an unborn child. Okay, whatever. I'm about done with him for now. Alright, we're done talking. I guess I can skip along this way and go to sleep so I can find out that my dad is doing something or dead. Honestly, I'm kind of curious which one the game's going to throw at me. He's either going to be dead or he's going to be doing something. So Cynthia's house. Welcome back to your new home. I want to talk about my mother. John says my mother will die. John can be very callous sometimes. It doesn't mean he is wrong, but there's no reason to get ahead of yourself. One back. 3 other things. What do you know about the attack? I know it was unexpected, but it seems like a pretty common probing attack. Light Army does this every so often. Occasionally a town will be well prepared or the wall will be cracked, and the whole top level will be flooded with light. I guess it happens often enough since light continues to do these sorts of attacks. If I'm correct, it should be over in a day or 2. Not according to John there, sweetie, but I can't tell you that. John Blackbeard. So let's chat about John. Why did John need an apprentice? Why do you think John did this to me? Why so many questions about John because we were just talking with him? I passed John's Science Seek test. Ah, how very nice. I remember the time he gave me that test. I think I panicked and hid in the chest. On the second try, I hid in the dark room. I couldn't stay there very long, though. I had to come out before he gave me up searching. It was a terrifying experience. I did the exact same thing. Game, did you just copy and paste what I did? Or are you trying to, or what, is this really just a big coinkydink? Whatever the case. John says the town will be destroyed very soon. I can't tell him that. I cannot tell her that. I promised John I wouldn't tell anyone. Alright, John knew about the attack underfoot in advance. John will say he'll teach me dark magic. I'll just tell her that much. What? Are you serious? Why would he do that? I thought he was finished with teaching. No offense to you, child. I am just very surprised by this. I will have to ask him about this tomorrow. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done with her for now. I'm kind of done with talking for the moment. Can I save my game? No, yeah, they said the game saves automatically. Why do you always follow me? I kind of have a bad feeling about her, but whatever, I'm going to sleep. You have unspent skill points. Press C to access the character menu. Spend your skill points by clicking on the skill. The black circle on the right represents your energy level. The darker it is, the more dark energy you have. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, I guess we do have skill points. Skill points left, 2. 1 is insight, and 0 is line. Or we have 1 insight and 0 line. I guess those are followed by our thing. Essence of courage, skill points left. Okay, because I have nothing to spend them on now, do I? Alright, I guess we have some sort of dream thing to go through. I guess maybe there's monsters and things that can hurt us. I don't exactly know what to expect, to be honest. There's a door of light pulsating over there. And over here... nothing. I think that'll leave me, so I'm gonna go inside the giant door of light. The pulsating, flashing light pulls me towards it. Oh, I woke up. That was me waking up. Frick. I always choose the wrong directions. Talk to Cynthia. I spoke to John about an hour ago. He's indeed planning to teach you dark magic. I can't believe it. When he stopped teaching me, he said I was his last student. He said he wouldn't try to find anyone else. I think you might love John, Cynthia. I don't know if you've picked up on this fact yourself, but John is a very private person, you know. The lessons made it easy to relate to him, but when they ended, we nearly stopped talking completely. He was always busy or unavailable. You can't just do that to someone you care about. Don't be upset at me. This is different. I am sorry. I am sorry. Me too. Go stay with him now. Have fun. I don't think she likes me very much right now. We used to have so much fun, you know. Some days we would go on grand adventures, and other days we would spend an entire silence just reading books together. I hate to tell you this, Cynthia, but I think you love John. Anyways, though, he even took me to a masquerade party one time. That was the first time I was at a real party. I saw how fun it could be, and I cherished the memories of it ever since. This is why I became an entertainer, you know. And then one day it was all over. Apart from being my teacher, he was my best friend. I really don't want to talk to anyone right now. Please leave me alone. Yeah. And this game saves automatically, and I guess my choices do have matter, because I could have told her other things, but I only told her about that, and now she's making a big deal about it. So it's kind of nice that the game's choices do seem to make a difference here. Yeah. Let's go in this way. First of all, I'm gonna go talk to my dear old mum. My mum's supposed to be dead. You know, I should run through the streets yelling, "The town's gonna be destroyed in less than a week." Of course I should. Get sent to the temple. You talk to my mom. How's my mother doing? She seems to be doing much better, actually. You should speak with her if you haven't already. She has some very important things to tell you. How are the other patients? Some have improved while others continue to worsen. I fear that many of them won't make it through the night. This is absolutely exhausting. This reminds me of the epidemic that struck Kryptos when I was a student there. But you are probably not interested in hearing about that. I am interested in hearing about it. Good, I suppose. I have a couple of minutes to tell you the story. Oh boy, maybe I wasn't interested in hearing it. Anyways, though, this occurred during my 3rd year at the university. A new strain of common virus had appeared and it spread very quickly, killing most people it afflicted. Most theorized it had been engineered by light, but nobody could prove it. Kryptos was quarantined almost instantly. Fortunately, the virus didn't spread beyond the city limits and was dealt with in Kryptos. Countless numbers of lives were saved, but still many had died. What kind of virus was it? It was a mutated version of a very common virus. The names don't really matter, just know that it was viciously deadly and unlike anything we had ever seen before. Continue. The hospitals were overrun. During that time, I, along with the other available medical personnel, was working without rest. Those were the most depressing days of my life. No matter how hard I or anyone else tried, the people just kept dying. There was nothing we could do to ease their suffering. You would have to understand the nature of the virus to comprehend how terribly devastating it is to have an untreatable, highly contagious virus at hand. It's passed on from one person to another by touch, so its growth is exponential. That's very bad. I know exponential means, what I was going to say. As you can imagine, the search for a cure started as soon as the virus was confirmed. The best scientists and doctors were put on the task. While it only took them 2 days, the virus had already spread throughout the city, and by then more than half the residents were affected. The cure worked, but it contained one flaw. You couldn't give it to just anyone. If you gave it to a person who had the virus, then they would get better. But if you gave the cure to a person who just had similar symptoms but another disease, they would often die. Not everyone who showed the symptoms actually had the virus, since the early symptoms were pretty common to other sicknesses. What did the cane do? Why was this flaw present? I'm not sure. This is outside my area of expertise, but I think it has something to do with a cure attacking the body if there was no virus present. The king, after talking with his advisors, concluded that the vaccine should be given to every person who displayed the symptoms. It was a very difficult decision to make, with so many lives at stake, but I believe it was the correct one. Some people died because they didn't have the virus, but more people were saved overall. There were doctors and nurses who protested this decision. They called it murder. I also had my doubts back then, but I did administer the cure to all of my patients. Looking back, though, it was certainly the right decision, and I feel fortunate that we saved as many lives as we did. This is a very sad result. I agree. Thank you for listening to me, young lady. Every time I share the story, my heart is a little lighter, and the memory doesn't weigh me down as much. I'm happy to remember that while it was a very difficult time, we got through it, and we'll get through this one as well. It will be hard, and I expect many deaths, but I will not give up, and I will continue to do my best. Can I help you with anything? Thank you, young lady, but I don't have anything for you to do right now. I want to talk about my dad. You should talk to your mother about him first. John Blackbeard. You've spoken with John? Oh well, it's not like I didn't see that coming. Just please be very wary of him, child. Why don't you like John? He is a very difficult person to read. He has very radical notions about life and death, rights and wrong. He can be very hard to talk to. Actually, I got the exact opposite impression when I was talking to him. He seemed very easy to talk to, but shh. He is always so very sure of himself. Well, that was true about him too. Sure that he knows what's best for everyone, but his overconfidence is his biggest folly. He is the type of person that would do something for your own good without asking for your consent. Your heart comes to mind as the most obvious example of this behavior. You can see how that's a bit hard to put up with. I was going to say, John knew about the attack on their foot in advance. I don't think, I should... See, look, it keeps on telling me I can tell people about John since the town will be destroyed soon, but I'm not going to tell anyone that. I promised John I wouldn't, and I have this feeling that telling people that the town's going to be destroyed soon isn't going to bode well. Okay. My mother. Of course, John says my mother will die. Really? What if he is so smart? Well, if he is so smart, why doesn't he come here and help me treat these patients? He is one smug bastard. He thinks he can sit in his house and cut his little schemes while everyone else should defer to his infinite wisdom. What a jerk. I'm sorry, this is just very stressful for me. Look, just please don't talk about this with your mother, okay? She is in a very fragile emotional state right now. Well, I'm kind of afraid I already killed my mother because you said the emotional thing was very important. I kind of asked her everything, asked her if she was going to die. Anyways, though, other thing. No, not John, not John. Back. I don't want to ask about that. 6 for now. Hi, young lady. Is there something you want to talk about? I want to talk about it. Okay, we're done. I think we're done. Mommy, tell me what happened to Daddy. Because he's probably dead. Man, this game teaches you math. The king doesn't sound like a nice guy. Kind of. He doesn't sound like a nice guy, but he does seem somewhat wise. Oh, there's a library there? Didn't even know. Mother? Mother! Raven, I'm so glad you're here. I was worried that you might have forgotten to come today. Thank you for remembering to visit your poor mother. I knew in my heart you would make it here today. I have 2 things I would like to talk to you about. Let's start with John. I've spoken with John. He told me that he's planning to teach you dark magic. In his usual manner, he arranged all of this without ever discussing it with me. But that's John for you, I guess. But why didn't you tell me about it yesterday, dear? You can always trust me, okay? I am sorry I didn't tell you about this yesterday. I wanted to go fuck to sleep, Mom. Anyways, though. I was gonna say, she doesn't have purple skin. Also, one thing I want to say right now, I really like it how the game keeps track of what you do. So it actually feels like the choices I'm making hold some weight. Because other characters take notice of what you tell them, and what you do and don't do. I like it. Such as there's so few characters to take care of it. It's kind of interesting to see how your choices make a difference in this game. Which, a lot of games say, hey, make choices that makes a difference, and it doesn't really change anything. But in this one, I'm getting the impression very strongly that what I do does make a big difference. That makes sense? And I like that element of this game, so yay. I am sure you were busy, and you might not have even realized how important this is for you and for me. It's okay. Just know that I care about you deeply, and want to know about everything that goes on in your life. Okay, continue. I'll be honest, Raven. I don't like this magic business at all. While I know it seems like fun, it has great power that you have yet to understand. However, John and I spoke for a while, and he convinced me that this is the best course of action for you. It's what your father would have wanted. Oh boy. The past tense already. My dad's dead, isn't he? You'll have a chance to learn so much. John also says that you are the only hope this town has of surviving the attack. Magic is a very dangerous tool, Raven. I am worried for you. I am worried about all the bad things that might happen. You have my blessings. You have my blessing, but please tell me everything that goes on in your life and let me know if you have any fears or doubts. You can come and talk to me about anything. I will always support you. Now, I want to talk to you about your father. I am afraid this will be a lot more difficult. There's no easy way to say this. Your father has passed on. I am sorry I couldn't bear to tell you this yesterday. I was feeling very sick and exhausted, especially emotionally. I suspected it. Of course, I am not surprised you already figured it out yourself. You are a very bright girl, Raven. I know I expected it too, so this might not remember. You might not remember, but right after you and your father arrived, we all sat down for dinner. Then the alarms went off. Dad and I knew that what it meant. As the Count's personal guard, he didn't have to respond, but he knew he could help. So his heart compelled him to go. He ran out the door towards the gate. I ran after him. I wanted to stop him. I didn't want him to risk his life like that. It was selfish of me, but I couldn't help myself. I love him so much. I mean, loved him, Mom. He's kind of dead, and I don't think loving a dead body's gonna do you much good. I couldn't catch up with him. I kept running through the main gate until I found myself surrounded by blinding light. Oh boy. So I lost both my parents because you guys are idiots. You know, this is why we use a thing called communication. I hope you learned this, Mom, before you die. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, that's terrible of me to say. Okay. There was chaos. People running everywhere, screaming, panicking. That's the last of what I remember. I think before I left the house, I told you to stay put, but you were afraid and must have wandered off. What kind of mother leaves her daughter behind like that? I'm so sorry. I deeply regret leaving you alone and acting so rashly. You could have died. Don't worry about it. Alright. I'm trying to think right now. Don't worry about it, or you could have died. I don't want to worry her like that. I'll tell her not to worry about it. Her emotional state is important right now. I want you to live. Thank you, sweetheart. Raven, it means a lot to me that you are here, supporting me. We'll get through this together. I know the loss of your dad has left a hole in your heart that nothing else can fill. I feel it too. It's okay. This is perfectly understandable. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. Your father was a hero, and I am sure he saved many lives during that night. All we can do is honor his memory and continue to love him in our hearts. That was everything I wanted to tell you, and now I want to ask a favor of you. Okay. It makes me feel awkward because I don't even know my dad, so I don't care. He died. Okay, I guess I'm fatherless. Anyways, please take this money and please take this money and run down to the market to buy some flowers to pay respects to your father's grave. I haven't seen it, but it should be somewhere in the cemetery right next to the temple. Lisa told me he was buried with everyone else who died defending the wall yesterday. It's just next to the old monument to those who died defending the wall during the last assault. Just gently lay the flowers there. Hug. She probably needs a hug right now. I love your hugs. How is your health? It's a lot better than yesterday. My mind is a lot more clear and I'm less dizzy, but I can still hardly move. I'll have to stay in bed today again. You worry too much about me, Raven. Your thoughts mean a lot to me, but you shouldn't forget about yourself. You're going to face many difficult challenges soon enough, and you need to have a clear mind. I'm your mom. Let me be the one to worry. I know. I have to admit, even though this game is heavily like a text-based game, I am slowly getting more engrossed into it. So I'm like, yeah. At the beginning, I wasn't too into it, but I'm starting to get more into it. So I want to talk about you. Me? Okay, I suppose. Why is your skin so pale? Yep. I've been wondering this question too. And it's not just you. Why is my skin so pale? Insight. It's just a side effect of my sickness. I won't worry too much about it. I probably shouldn't tell her John said that you will die. Yeah, I'm not telling her that. Sorry, I'm not going there. She probably will die if I tell her that John said you are going to die, so. Okay, you to my dad. Of course, honey. What would you like to ask? Valence. Flowers. She's thinking Arby's. What? I can't get it. I'm like, what did my father do? Dylan served in the Dark Army and then became a surface runner. After we met, we settled down here and became one of the Count's personal guards. What does a surface runner do? A surface runner travels between cities that are not connected to the same portal network. The only way to do this is by going across the surface. You can see how it's a very dangerous job requiring a lot of skill, endurance, and cunning. Your father had it all, and he was very well known for his prowess. Yeah, let's learn more about Dad after he's dead, right? He would mostly deliver official written orders, but sometimes he'd carry personal mail and small items. How did you meet him? The first time we met was when he delivered a jewelry order to me. I remember it was for the fiancé of some count. He delivered the order personally, and when I saw him, I noticed he was wounded. He claimed it was nothing, but I insisted he should come in so I could treat it. It turned out he had fought with a light scout right outside of the town's portal. Though he won the battle, he was severely wounded. He was bleeding, so I bandaged his wound as well as I could and ran to get Lisa. He spent the next few days recovering at my house, and we had the chance to talk and get to know each other. Why couldn't you stop him from running to his death? Well, that's not a bad question. That's a terrible question to ask. How did you feel when you found out what he did with my heart? Not a good question to ask either. Can I stay with you instead of Cynthia? No, there's no good questions about it. John. Yes? John knew about the attack beforehand. John says that town, I am tempted. I am really tempted to tell her about John, knowing that the town will be destroyed soon. It sounds like something I should tell my own mother, but same time, I did promise John I wouldn't tell anyone, but maybe not telling anyone is going to be because here's the thing, I have this feeling that telling someone that will make a big difference, which happens because so far this game has proven to me that telling people things does in fact make a big difference in this game. And so now, unlike most game with choices, I'm not really thinking about what's the best choice. I'm thinking about what choice. Anyways, though. Interesting. I don't think I'll tell her right now. I can tell her in the future unless she dies tonight, which she might. I don't know. We'll go back. Other things? What do you know about the attack? Not much, I'm afraid. It's just very sad how many lives of it has already taken. You. John says you're gonna die. But there's no good questions to ask her. If I tell her she's going to die, she's probably going to die. That's why I don't want to tell her that she's going to die. Because I have a feeling that maybe she can live. And they even told me at the very beginning of the game that her emotional state is important to her living or dying. So I have a feeling that was a subtle way of telling me if I stress her the fuck out, she's going to die. But anyways, though, that's at least how I read into it. Anyways, I think we're done now, so I'm gonna check out the library. See, the one thing, I wish the music played a bit more normally instead of only playing at moments like these. Enter the library. I guess the big book here is the important one. Look at the index tome. Hey, now we're not even talking to people, we're just reading books. Anyways, though. Well, to be fair, Forget-Me-Nots was a game where it's kind of fun getting the bad endings. I wanted to get the bad endings too, so no worries. This thick leather-bound tome contains a list of all the books contained in the library, but it looks like nobody's here to assist you in finding the books that interest you. The thing is, I kind of like how this game handles it. If this game had save states, I would probably use save states and then save the options like that, but this game has auto-saving, and I guess the reason it has auto-saving is so the choices that you make are permanent. So instead of just taking every possible path like a visual novel, it makes you feel like life, or your choices make a difference. So search the index for interesting books. After taking some time to look through the thick tome, you come up with a short list of books that interest you. Our Planet, Surface Runners, Peasant, the king of the chessboard. I don't care about anything about this right now. I'll read later. Not right now, not right now. Gonna walk away. Then we're gonna go this way. I'm gonna do the flower things. I do think I'm going to stop playing pretty soon, but I'll forget about the flower thing if I don't do it now. So I better go get flowers now. Buy flowers. You bought flowers. Enter the temple. Here's the graveyard over here. More areas have been opening up, I've been noticing, so that's always nice. Graveyard has kind of a creepy sound to it, but that's okay. Oh boy, we got a kid. Hey, look who it is! Oh no. Stand up! Well, well, who do we have here? I am Raven. What do you guys think we should say to this? I am Raven, none of your business, nobody. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this, honestly. This could be one of, like, this could just be a regular bully, or this could be one of those kids who is actually a friend, but a tough kid on the outside, but the more we get to know to him, the more he warms us to us and all that, so... I will give him a, if I'm going to give him a chance, I'll give him my name. I'll give him a chance to see if he's a good kid, maybe, or if he's just a bully. I am Raven. You're a girl who thinks she's too precious to go to school with us simple folk, aren't you? You hear that, Vlad? She thinks she's better than us. Well, I'm Ace, and you aren't any better than me. You're no better than anyone else. You're just another fat-headed rich girl. Understand. I understand. I will understand you because I agree with you, but you're just putting this in a way where you're trying to make yourself feel better, stupid. But anyways, though. I understand. You just think you're so smart, huh? How do you know you're not one of the light spies? Truth, I am not a spy. Like they'd ever let a girl be a spy anyway. Well, are you gonna keep sitting on the ground all day, or are you gonna get up? I'm making this girl really blunt. That's okay, I don't mind. She's a blunt character. I want to crybaby. Let's get out of here. Vlad, the girl's trying my patience. Continue. Stand up. There was a glitch there. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. They're jerks. I have a feeling we're gonna run into them again. They could either just be bullies through and through, or they could be the characters that start off all cold, but they turn out to be a lot warmer than you think they are from the beginning. And I think that the second might be true because he did just leave us alone. I think he kind of, so when I was just being blunt, so... Embrace the darkness, take revenge. I have a feeling I might end up liking him if he turns out being a good kid, though, so yeah. Enter the temple. I'm going to tell Mother that we have done what she has requested, if at all possible. See, I like the music in this game. It's not like an amazing soundtrack, but it does what it needs to do well. I was going to say, if only it played more often. Alright, let's see. I put your flowers on the grave. Thank you, sweetheart. You're such a good girl. I am so happy that you are with me. Ace. I'm gonna talk about Ace with him. Oh, you met a boy? Ace bullied me. What a mean boy. I don't understand why he would do that. Did he hurt you? I'm gonna tell her a lie and say no. Well, that's good. But it's still no way for a boy to behave. I'll have to speak to his mother. Alright. 4. Hi, Raven. We're done here. Unfortunately, that breaks my no lying record. I have lied once, but I don't want to stress her out, so... We're gonna go back over here. Are you still depressed, Cynthia? You are really... I'm sorry I told you I'm learning magic. I didn't realize you wanted to get in John's pants so bad. Alright, we're getting good. We're going good. I don't want to kill her either. I like Mom. I guess that's how a child's supposed to feel, though. However, we're probably going to be done for now. The game's interesting for what it is. We'll probably continue playing some other time, though. Yeah, I'm also starting to get pretty sleepy, so I'm like, yay. I am surprised. I think my ability to read things without stuttering has somehow improved when I'm tired. Usually I stutter a lot more than I have. I feel like I haven't stuttered that much when I'm reading all this, but usually when I'm tired I stutter more when I'm reading stuff, but so far I've been fine. I'm just like, yeah, I've actually understood everything that's been thrown at me, so I'm probably in a specific state of tiredness, so... She's unemployed. Well, she's not unemployed. She's an entertainer. She does odd jobs. She's an odd job doer. Cynthia is. And I guess she just really loves John, even if she herself has not realized it yet. Or else she wouldn't be so freaking jealous. Anyways, though, we're going to be done for now, though. So talk to you guys in a small bit.